Hi there. Are you ready to relax and fall asleep? Let me tell you a little story to help you drift off peacefully. The rain fell once more, a relentless downpour against a city in flames. The capital was ablaze. The jarring sound of steel clashing against steel echoed through the streets, punctuated by screams that tore through the air and the terrified cries of horses under a sky choked with fire. Through this maelstrom of chaos, Sealan moved with purpose. He led his troops directly toward the Grand Chancellor's opulent residence. He ascended the grand marble steps, one by one, his heavy boots stained with blood, his black robe soaked through by the raging storm. Each step was deliberate, a final march towards a destiny he had orchestrated. Inside the grand hall, illuminated by the flickering, dancing light of the fires outside, Bien Jan was waiting. He was dressed in full battle armor, his handsome face set like iron, unreadable and cold. Yet, in the depths of his eyes, a flicker of something painfully human, something vulnerable, betrayed his hardened exterior. When he saw Sealan, a quiet resignation settled in his voice. "So, it's you." Sealan offered a single, clipped word in response. "Yes." A bitter understanding dawned on Bien Jan's face. "You planned this. From the very beginning, from the moment I came back to life." Those last words struck Bien Jan with the force of a physical blow, leaving him stunned and silent. His mind reeled. "Came back to life. Back to life," he repeated, the question barely a whisper, lost in the roar of the storm and the inferno consuming the city. Sealan advanced slowly, his presence filling the vast hall, his every movement a promise of retribution. "You killed me once, Bien Jan," he said, his voice dangerously calm. "I'm merely returning the favor." And then they clashed. The air rang with the sharp shriek of blades meeting, a deadly dance between two masters of their craft. Blood spilled, staining the polished floors, mingling with the rainwater that seeped in through the shattered windows. In the driving rain that lashed the palace, the two figures tangled like cursed souls, forever bound by the same crimson thread of fate, unable to escape one another. The fight was brutal, swift, and decisive. At last, Ungen faltered. He took a mortal wound, a clean strike that promised a quick end. Yet, even as the blade found its mark, a profound change came over him. His strength failing, he reached out with a trembling hand, not to strike but to hold Sealan close, to pull him into one final, desperate embrace. "If I told you," he gasped, his voice ragged, his breath catching in his throat, "that I have loved you all this time, what then?" Sealan shuddered violently, a tremor running through his entire body. The cold wind howled through the ruined hall, lashing across his face, mingling with the smoke, the fire, and the tears he refused to let fall. His voice, when it came, was a ghost of a whisper, filled with a sorrow so deep it seemed to echo from the very depths of his soul. "It's too late." But as he made to pull away, to let go of the man dying in his arms, fate intervened with one last cruel twist. A massive wooden beam above them, weakened by the fire, gave way with a deafening crack. It came crashing down, its splintered edge driving through Sealan's side with merciless force. They fell together, locked in that final, tragic embrace, and disappeared into the raging inferno. By dawn, the storm had passed, leaving behind a sky washed clean. But the Grand Palace was no more. It was a Rene skeleton of its former glory, its magnificent halls reduced to nothing but ash and smoldering embers. No one ever found Sealan's body. Some whispered that he had died with the crown prince, Bien Jan. The two of them consumed by the very fire that mirrored their destructive passion, descending into hell side by side. Yet, years later, far away in the borderlands, a different story began to unfold. In a small, quiet temple nestled among the mountains, a young monk in pristine white robes could be seen each night, sitting beneath the moonlight, playing as if his music was a thing of profound sorrow, at times sounding like quiet weeping, at others like a gentle, mournful lullaby that drifted on the night air. One evening, a curious young novice approached him. "Elder brother," he asked. "What is this beautiful, sad piece called?" The monk looked up from his instrument. His eyes were gentle, but they held an ocean of grief, a history of loss that seemed impossibly old. He offered a small, sad smile. "It's called the Blood Seal." "Why that name?" the novice pressed, intrigued. "Because someone once carved his mark into my heart with blood." The monk's smile was faint, as light and transient as the wind sighing through the trees. Outside the temple walls, the first summer rain began to fall again, soft and gentle, drop by drop. Each one seemed to echo the notes of the zither, carrying the sound of a love that could never be absolved, a story that could never truly end. They say that on nights when a crimson moon hangs in the sky, if you walk past the desolate ruins of the Crown Prince's palace, you might hear something carried on the wind. Through the sound of the falling rain, you might catch the faint strains of music, a melody both cold and tender, as if two lost souls were still searching for each other amidst the ashes of their world. A ghostly whisper seems to hang in the air, a question and its heartbreaking answer. "Do you hate me?" "No. I only still love you." And then, with a single, final gust of wind, the strings fall silent, and the moon seems to break apart, its light scattering like dust. Thus ended the tale of two men who loved, hated, killed, and mourned each other. Their story is over, but the blood seal they left behind still burns, crimson and eternal, in the hearts of those who take the time to listen to the rain and remember. Thank you for listening. I hope this story has brought you a sense of peace. Sleep well, dream sweetly, and may your night be calm. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. Until next time.